Santa Clara's redshirt junior Nate Kratch is emerging as quite the star, not only for Santa Clara, but within the WCC as a whole. This wasn't always his role, though. It wasn't always his sport either. But it's fair to say he's finding his place and consistently growing into the player he wanted to be. Ezra Broder has the story.
The saying goes, slow and steady wins the race. And this tortoise is breaking out of his shell.
One thing that's really helped me develop and help develop my confidence on the court is with the coaching staff and my teammates. Every day pushing myself, pushing me to get better.
Santa Clara's Nate Kratch is averaging almost 12 points and 9 rebounds per game and shooting just under 60% from the field while starting every game for his team. No other player in the WCC can claim that.
I think a large part of this is due to his work ethic off the floor. He's by far the hardest working kid in the weight room. Consistently, it shows in his body, it shows in how he's able to play, and he's become reliable and become a little bit of a calming influence for us.
That wasn't always the case, though. In fact, basketball is not the redshirt junior's first love. Football is the sport of choice in the Kratch family. His dad, Robert, played 8 seasons in the NFL, winning a Super Bowl with the Giants in 1991. His brother, Colby, was a tight end at Toledo and is now an assistant coach at Michigan State.
After my sophomore year in high school, I decided to quit football to start focusing more on basketball. And a lot of people are kind of like, oh, Nate, you should play both. You shouldn't do that. Your dad played professional football, but my dad didn't really care because he knew how much I loved playing basketball, and he knew that I was making the right decision for myself.
That's because basketball is also in his DNA. His grandmother was a pioneer in women's basketball. Dorsey Anderson Dinklow was a part of the All-American Redheads, the first women's team to be inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2012. They played against men using men's rules.
She would always talk about how they couldn't really dribble and that they would have to pass the ball. The one person had to stay on offense, they couldn't cross half court, so they had to stay on the one side. She's glad I picked basketball. She always watches every game on the internet and always yelling whenever I make a mistake at the TV.
And early on at Santa Clara, those mistakes were made more often than Kratch would have liked.
I think he put himself under an extreme amount of pressure to really be good right away, like most competitive kids do, especially one coming from an athletic family.
I overthink things, kind of get down on myself.
So where did he turn for advice? A story from his dad's football career, when he missed an assignment on a field goal attempt that ultimately cost his team the game.
At that point in his career, he was kind of stressing too much about playing professionally and trying to prolong his career. I said after that, he just started focusing more on things that mattered him to the most, just trying to play fluidly, freely, and just trying to have fun, because someday that's going to come to an end for him. So he was just trying to enjoy the moment and just take it a day-by-day basis.
I think now has really settled into his own body, his own game, to kind of let it come to him a little bit more, not force the issue, and obviously the results are speaking for themselves.
The Minnesota native is the elder statesman on a young Broncos squad, and in his junior season, he's now leading by example.
A leader has to bring the energy and the focus every day and help motivate the guys, even when you're not feeling the best, you're tired, sore, or whatever you have going on in your life. I think I've gotten a lot better just playing more fluidly, not overthinking, not getting too hard on myself, just trying to have fun every day with my teammates.
I think there's an understanding of what it means to be on the floor and compete day in and day out, and I think that's probably had the biggest influence on why he's been able to get to this point.
For the WCC This Week, I'm Ezra Broder.